First and foremost, I guess good afternoon or good evening, or I guess whatever time zone you're in, and thank you for joining today's general session hosted by Pacific Life. We'll be joined by Afsane and Mike, colleagues in Pacific Life. Quick intro to myself. I'm an actuary. I've been an actuary for about 15 years, mainly in the modeling space. I currently support the modeling of our life and annuity product lines. I'll pass it to Michael and Afsane to make introductions.
Great. Hi, everyone. My name is Mike Watanabe. I'm an actuary at Pacific Life. I'm a director of the gap valuation for life insurance products. I've been an actuary for a total of approximately 17, 18 years, primarily in valuation, and have had the privilege of working for Pacific Life for the past 3 years. And I'm happy to be a part of this, share the message of Pacific Life with you folks, what we're all about, who we are. And I think Afsane can share a bit about the early career actuary life here at Pacific Life.
Yes, thank you, Michael. So I am the junior member of our team. My name's Afsane Faki. I've been an actuary for about 2.5 years now. I graduated college in 2020. I was a math major, and I started as a pension actuary, and now I work for Pacific Life on our valuation, projection, and modeling team. I've been here for not even a year yet. I joined last May, and we're really excited to present for you guys. So we're going to jump right in. I would encourage you to ask questions throughout. You can pop them into the chat, and we'll try to answer questions as they come, and we'll, of course, save time at the end for more questions. So I'll pass it back to Michael.
All right. Thanks, everyone. All right. So a little bit about who we are. We're a mutual insurance company that's been around for over 150 years. We recently celebrated a handful of years ago our 150th year anniversary. Just fun. But we've been around for a while. We've been here for the benefit of our policyholders. We do have that history we do have that longstanding history of solidarity, financial stability, and strength within the insurance space. But one of the things that, aside from tradition, that we kind of hold near and dear to our hearts is diversity. When it comes to DEI, we absolutely wholeheartedly support and respect all of the initiatives that are coming through. Taking a look at our core values, there are 7 key core values that we have there: people, accountability, customer focus, integrity, financial strength, innovation, and community, all of which have a little bit to do with our message on DEI and our support of it. If you notice, our core values tend to spell out Pacific very conveniently, but we do treasure and have a lot of our key values, a lot of key things that we hold important to the way that we operate as employees, as individuals, and with our customers and our sales force, that hold those core values, that we hold those core values high. So yeah, I guess Afsane, can we move to the next slide? Along with our core values and along with the things that make us who we are as part of a company, we do also reach out to the community, get active with it, support it, both financially and with our time and efforts. Several of the numbers that we see here are related to Pacific Life and Pacific Life's foundation's support of our community, of other initiatives that are out there in the society, helping to support programs, helping to support initiatives that make the world a better place. So going through some of these, not necessarily the numbers, but making a list of all the things that we do get involved with. Schooling, we have significant support of schools where we donate through the foundation, a number of schools. Included in this is one of our 3 Ts program, where the schools that our children go to, we go out and support technology, teaching, and Austin can maybe pitch in with the third one.
Textbooks.
Textbooks, yes, that's right. Where we support our schools and our children's schools with that financially and with that support. We also work with United Way, with the various other charities that they work with in order to support them by fundraising for them annually and creating programs, creating funds so that United Way can support their support here in Orange County, as well as other locations that we have across the US. We work closely with nonprofits and give back to them and have done so for a number of years. We've raised a number of assets to help support the longevity and the longevity of just our society, the world, the environment, and we go out and support low-income communities as well as environmental green efforts out there. The last one I do want to, also the conservation of marine mammals. Can't get away from that, with the whale being our logo, our support. But most importantly, I want to call out the last thing where we say 2,000 plus US-based employees and family members volunteered. We have a program that calls out and makes numerous opportunities available for volunteering for our employees, families of employees, and we get a lot of people involved. It is just part of our community. It's part of what we do here at Pacific Life, where everybody jumps at these chances. So it's not just one or two people getting involved, it's departments, divisions getting involved and pitching back into the communities.
Nice. Thank you, Michael. So I think that's a great segue into one of the core values we want to highlight today. Corporate social responsibility and DEI go hand in hand. Diversity, equity, and inclusion has become a huge core value for Pacific Life, especially in recent years. So we have some statistics up here for you guys, or commitment levels, to show you a little bit about how seriously we take DEI at an enterprise level. First of all, our CEO, Daryl Button, we have this Action for Diversity and Inclusion pledge created and signed by him. We also created an Enterprise Inclusion Council, where their sole focus is creating our DEI goals at an enterprise level and at every other level throughout the company, and strategizing to make sure we reach those goals. Unconscious bias training is, of course, required. And as Michael mentioned before, we put a lot of our financial support into nonprofits and minority communities. Specifically, I think our current statistic is over $700,000 funding organizations whose mission support underrepresented individuals, families, communities, both communities that are internally valuable to our employees and also externally valuable to communities where we serve our clients and the greater world. Finally, I think one of the most important DEI commitments for this audience is we are sponsors for IABA, which all of you are a part of, OLA, which is the Organization for Latin Actuaries, and NAWA, which is, I believe, the National Alliance of Women Actuaries. I believe that's what that stands for. We are the highest level of sponsorship for all three of those organizations, which I think is really amazing because it shows how committed we are to DEI in the actuarial space, which is the space that all of you are interested in. And something that we really wanted to highlight, and what I think is one of our most important DEI efforts, is our connection groups. So these are groups formed by the employees. This isn't something at the enterprise level. This is employees in various departments, divisions that thought it was important to create spaces and communities internally for colleagues to feel represented, safe, and supported, both within themselves and also for allies to join and learn how to become more active allies and more proactive in the greater good of our communities. So the ones that we've highlighted today, we have the Alliance for Latino and Hispanic Americans at PL. VIBE is a very new one, Voices Illuminating the Black Experience at PL. Women at PL, I think, is our longest standing connection group. We have Pride at PL. Another very, very new one is the Alliance of Middle Eastern and North African Peoples at PL. And finally, on the screen, we have Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders at PL. I am a part of both VIBE and AMINA, these two. I am half Black, half Persian, and some really great events that I've been to. They had a Black History Month event. They have several Black History Month events for February. The one that was actually yesterday, I believe, we had our Vibe leader lead a DEI session specifically for my division, where we got to talk about what is DEI to us, what does inclusion mean to each of us, what does it mean to be an active ally, how have we faced oppression, and how have we been able to use privileges to be allies in the workspace and also in our greater lives. So that was a really awesome session where we broke up into groups and discussed these topics. And it's really nice to hear other colleagues be open and share about their experiences and learn from each other. And I think, Michael, do you want to highlight an AAPI event that you've been a part of?
Sure. Yeah, I joined the AAPI, been a part of it for about a year now, and there are a number of things that they get interested in. Asia is a very large place made up of a number of different countries, so there are a lot of cultures, a lot of ethnicities, nationalities that are coming together and informing and learning, and that we're learning about, not just exchanging that information from within the group, but also sharing that with the greater PL community. A couple of the important topics or messages that were coming out, I think during the past couple of years, there has been a couple movements called Stop Asian Hate, or racism toward the Asian community. And I think we had a few diversity circles and talking points where we come together and discuss this, to away from emotions, away from charged emotional events, and engage in discourse to talk about the events and how we feel about that in a similar way that Afsane highlighted earlier. And secondly, there are, I think we've had speakers come in where they may be justices of the court or past executives that have shared their Asian American experience and some of their experiences, some things to learn from, and advice for the rest of us who share in that experience.
Thanks.
So to highlight a little bit about Pacific Life, what do we deal with? What are we all about? And in our name is life. So we are life insurance experts. We do have a wide variety of life insurance products made available. We are one of the bigger writers of Index Universal Life in the market space. So that is one of our flagship products as a life insurance company. But along with that, we do have a significant retirement solutions block of business where we are annuity experts as well, whether they're variable fixed annuity, fixed index annuity, structured settlement amounts. And we have a lot to do in that space and have been growing that over the past handful of years. Additionally, we do operate in an institutional space where we market products such as pension risk transfer, deal with companies trying to handle their pension funds, institutional annuities, stable value products, a number of new opportunities, new products that are emerging in the insurance and insurance related market space that we have been growing over the past few years. Additionally, there is also Pacific Life Re, which is a reinsurance company that is primarily operating outside of the North Americas as a reinsurance company and providing that reinsurance to other insurance partners out there. And they take on the form of longevity reinsurance, like retrocession, underwriting technology. So we operate in a lot of different spaces outside of the North Americas, as well as our core business here in the US. Right. And as mentioned before, we have our areas of expertise along with the top three, which we've highlighted in our products: life insurance, retirement solutions, and institutional markets. The fourth one is also reinsurance. We also, as life insurance experts, we do have a fair bit of underwriting expertise and knowledge in that space from both a direct writer as Pacific Life and a reinsurance company in Pacific Life Re, or PL Re. Alongside that, we do have asset expertise and asset knowledge with regard to risk management, asset management, and our capital markets areas. Additionally, we are emerging and starting to grow in the workforce benefit space. It was something that we've taken on within the past year or two, a decision that we are aiming to grow and evolve into that space. So we do have a bit of expertise and a bit of knowledge that we've recently onboarded in that space. Right. And our awards and recognition, this may feel a little bit like patting ourselves on the back, but really, rather than just parade out our awards out there, I do want to highlight a couple of these that I think speak to how we as employees of Pacific Life feel about our own company, and that some of these awards are maybe indicators of that, or a reflection of the pride that we take in our company. For the Fortune 500, we are ranked in that Fortune 500 at 266. That number has been something that it's not a one-time deal. We have been a part of it for a little while, as what is known as kind of like a mid-size life insurance company compared to the much larger life insurance companies out there. We have been continuing to grow, and we have been continuing to increase that number from a number that was below 266 up to where we are. And that is even during the time of COVID, where we have continued to grow, continued to evolve as a company, and continued to strive to become a better company. Additionally, the last thing I want to highlight here is the 2022 World's Most Ethical Companies Award from the Ethisphere Institute. This is something that I think as a company we pride ourselves on. We take an annual code of conduct. We regularly come back and highlight the ethical implications of some of our business, some of the things that we do with regard to our regular business transactions, by making available some of in our internal training organization classes and examples of things that we should work through in order to understand ethical implications. We have a program of, if you can't remember it, essentially, if you see it, report it, because we believe that when we are responsible and we are accountable for our own actions and our own what we do as a company, then we are collectively stronger as that company. The last thing I'll comment on this ethical companies is also not a one-off. It is something that this is the 5th year running that we have been designated one of the world's most ethical companies, and we take pride in that, and we stand by that. So Pacific Life is really a fantastic company and place to work with, work for. Yeah. So I'll pass it back to you, Afsane.
Thank you, Michael. I totally agree with that. And now I just want to talk a little bit about our actuarial student program and some opportunities. This is probably one of the things you guys are most interested in. So our internship applications haven't started yet, but the application will go live in August. And then we're going to have on-campus interviews August and September, and a final round of interviews in early October. And then you would start in the summer of 2024, I believe. It is a 12-week internship program, and you get a lot out of it. I remember meeting our interns last summer. Of course, you're going to get professional development, but I think the executive mentorship program was really popular. You'll get to have a mentor with one of the senior leaders in the company to learn about the company at a higher level and see what kind of opportunities are available for you throughout different divisions of Pacific Life. Because I know when I was a student, when I thought of an insurance company, it didn't seem like the most attractive thing in the world, but what a lot of students don't know is there's so many ways, so many careers, so many directions that you can go within an insurance company, especially Pacific Life. So we're so innovative and have new divisions coming out and new products coming out all the time. And another really cool thing is so many of our senior leaders are actuaries. So being an actuary gives you so much mobility and flexibility to really take your career any way you want to go. And our executive mentorship program is a great way to show you in the real world how the possibilities that you have. It's a very collaborative environment. I remember our interns last summer were a very tight-knit community. They had a lot of social events, working together a lot. So I think it's a really great networking opportunity for other students interested in actuarial science like yourself. Lots of training and education, lots of networking, and of course, real world work. You are going to be put on a real team doing work for the company. It's not just work that we've made up for the interns. You're actually going to be working with our products, working with our modeling systems, our pricing team, wherever it is that you are helping, and getting actual experience about what it's like to be an actuary at an insurance company. And then once you join full-time, you would be a part of our student program while you're taking exams. I'm sure most of you are either have started taking exams or are somewhere in the middle or thinking about taking your first exam. When you join Pacific Life, you will get full exam support. You'll get all your study materials covered, your registration fees for exams covered for both your first and second attempts. You'll get company study time. Each exam has an allotted number of study hours for your first and second attempts that you can take time off specifically to study. Of course, you get exam raises. With each exam you pass, you do get a fixed raise. And something that not every other company does is we have implemented first-time pass bonuses to incentivize you to study really hard and pass that first time. You'll get a bonus if you do so. And finally, we have the study group. So we have a channel at Pacific Life where students just share what exam they're taking. If they're taking the upcoming sitting for the same exam, students like to bond together and have a study group if that's something that helps you study. And while you're doing all this, we have our student actuarial rotation program. I think this is super valuable because it gives you an opportunity to try out being an actuary in different areas of the company before you settle in on where you want to take your career. So typically students will complete 3 rotations. Each rotation is about 2 years. And this just gives you exposure to lots of different products, lots of different technologies, modeling systems, team dynamics, and it just gives you a taste of different career fields at Pacific Life so that you can try a lot out before you decide, okay, this is what I really like and this is what I want to do for the rest of my career. So that's our student program. And I think that's everything we've prepared. So here's some links for you guys. The first one is where all of our career opportunities are posted. So when the internship goes live, it'll be on that our website, pacificlife.com/careers. You're always welcome to reach out to our university relations if you have any application related questions. And if you are really interested in Pacific Life and want to learn more, stay connected, we have an interest form. So I'll give you guys a moment to scan the QR code and write down any of those links. And while people are doing that, I think we can go ahead and start opening it up for questions.
Please feel free to either put in your questions through the chat or hop on video or audio and provide your questions live.
Is there a sponsorship for international students?
It's a good question. I recently hired on an analyst, and at the time we did not have international sponsorship, but it is something that we can take back to our HR area and talk it over.
Are there any large locations for Pacific Life, or it's a global company, so major cities pretty much, like what are the major cities, or how many major cities?
I can start that one off, and maybe Hussein and Michael can add because I'm pretty new, but I know our headquarters are in Newport Beach, California, which is where I am right now. Our other biggest office is in Omaha, Nebraska. And I believe our Aliso Viejo office is no longer going to be in existence coming up soon. I think that office, everyone there is now moving to Newport Beach. That Aliso Viejo is also in California. So our biggest presence is in California. We're a West Coast company. And then also Omaha is also on the West Coast. Hussein or Michael, what do we have other big office locations?
I would add, we do have several in our reinsurance arm. We have several international locations. And I would add as we've really kind of honed into a hybrid remote environment. So although we are heavily in the West Coast, a lot of our workforce has been much more broader in around the country through the remote and hybrid work.
So for the rotational program, you wouldn't need to be in a set city for those rotations at all? Okay.
No. I'll also add, I'm originally from Alabama, and I usually am working out of Alabama. I'm only here in California for like a special situation, but usually I work out of Alabama, and I think half of my team is also remote. We have someone from Washington State, someone in the Midwest. People are all over, and it doesn't hinder you at all for the rotation program or anything like that.
And then are there opportunities for career changers? So not really anyone that, you know, is still in college, so wouldn't really want to do, I guess, the internship, would want more of a full-time role starting out. Are there opportunities like that?
Absolutely. I think definitely recommend to check out our career site. There are several opportunities for, let's say, different areas of practice within actuarial. So I definitely would recommend that. And I know we're kind of running close on time, but I would also recommend that we will have representation in next week's virtual career fair. So I think definitely we can maybe discuss in a little bit more detail some of the background and what you'd be looking for. And I think that might be helpful.
Yeah, and I will say, having looked through some of our career offerings recently, there are a lot of opportunities out there across the enterprise at varying different levels of expertise. In particular, I think we do have a handful of entry level or near entry level positions to be filled that we're looking forward to, as well as experienced actuarial positions. We also have actuarial related positions in our international wings. So those are filled slightly differently than pretty differently than the North American US based folks. But the locations there are pretty fun sometimes. The ones I remember are London, South Korea, Singapore, I think one in Canada. Anyway, at the same time, Newport Beach, Orange County, LA adjacent is not anything to sneeze at either.
Very nice.
Thank you so much to all of you from Pacific Life and all of our candidates for joining. I will say Pacific Life is a corporate advisory council member to Afsane's and Mike's point earlier. They are a consistent supporter of IABA, which we're greatly appreciative of. Really helps make sure that these programs are able to occur and that we can continue to put out scholarships and all these other great programs that are ongoing. So thank you so much for all of you. This will be online probably tomorrow morning if you want to view it, if you need a recap, or if you're just looking for something specifically, including the QR code here on the screen. So we'll make sure to get it up on the Career Fair website, and then look forward to hopefully you all speaking with some of the Pacific Life staff next Tuesday at the Career Fair.
Thank you,
Thank-
Eric.
sounds
Thank you,
great.
everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.